Great cover art to 1185 One Piece chapter. Mind your own beeswax. Sorry. Mind your own beeswax. That's the tune we're going to be seeing right there, because the king man that we all love and know the most, boy Brook, his backstory is still going strong. King Reuben and Brook are finally getting closer and closer to Brook becoming one of the court guards for him. That doesn't happen overnight, because Brook is now taken under the wing of Queen, in this case right now, just Kendall, but Brook is still Brook. We can see in here, he started asking, of course, show me your panties. Instead of saying, may I see them, he just straight up said, show them to me, on some Goku, Dragon Ball, Menace type shit, which is disturbing. Funny, disturbing though. But we get right into it, and sword adequacy as well as manners are going to be beat into Brook. Because Kendall tells Brook, of course, she worked her ass off to get to where she's at for the person that she loves or wants to be with, because Brook asked her, who you want to be with? And she got to describing the person a lot, saying it's right by her side. He's like, you talking about me? She goes, no, idiot. I'm talking about King Reuben. Of course, the Prince Reuben during this time, because he will be king at the end of this chapter, which is pretty nice to see, but at the same time, pretty fucked up to see because of how it was done. Now, Brook and Queen, I want to say Queen, she was the queen for quite some time. Queen Cadell, of course, was very tight. And this is being told from Brook's song / story time that he's having right now with Princess Shuri, because he's telling them how it was back in the old days, how the prince himself was just becoming the king because the celestial dragons came through. It was very bad for the most part, because when the celestial dragons came through, it was a different form of the world government. Now, the world government, as we all know it, is now showing itself to be a force, I want to say, or to be kind of like a fucked up thing that they're running through, because now we get to see that the world government is corrupted. It's because of, obviously, the Celestial Dragons. This is a whole different experience that Asperia is going through right now. Because as we look through it a little bit more, I believe this panel right here shows a lot of it, just how Brook was ecstatic when it happened. Now, also torn up because the queen herself was very injured for the most part, or sickly for a very long time. Right after the Celestial Dragons came there, she was tired, and a lot of things ended up happening that they just couldn't really tell was the cause of things, because of some of the factors that, like, everybody's not miserable. It's a evil smug that dropped. So this just goes to show me that obviously the world government came, it laid there, started putting out possibly some of the potions in the air. They made its own plague and kind of put it out over the kingdom of Asperia, which led to, of course, the queen ended up passing away because of that, as well as many of the citizens itself. Now, as Brook goes through and is talking to Shuri about just everything, Shuri asks, hey, Brook, would you do the same thing for me? Would you rescue me? He goes, of course I would, because it's not just for your mama and your papa. I would do this for you any type of way. And he took a pause before he did it. Of course, we know Shuri's in love with Brook at this point. And it can be seen right over here just how much they were in love. She was in love with him, because it's just like when Brook was a kid, how much, I want to say love, but envy he had or wanted to be accepted by Kendall. It goes on for quite some time, because now we obviously see that their lives kind of intertwine one another. But at this point in time right now, the kingdom is in shambles. King Reuben is completely destroyed because his beloved is now has died from this plague or illness that nobody can talk about. Not just that, but also it seems like the music itself has left the building. So a lot of that stuff is playing factors into just the emotions of the people. But the show must go on still. Brook realizes that he wants to continue to train Shuri to make sure that she's one day going to be able to protect herself. Shuri, though, is going through an entire thing where she is just wanting to be loved and approved and just everything that happens good to be approved by Brook. Now, she's learning swords play, she's doing her thing. Brook is still doing his thing when he's trying to make sure he keeps the people happy. They're all going through it right now because they don't know what's going to happen. It was another kingdom in the West Blue that was wiped off the map because they couldn't pay tribute towards the Holy Land. And that's right now what they're kind of facing. King Ryuven is like, you know what? I'm not folding. Like, I'm not giving my people up. That's just dead. And I'm also not going to pay you this money for us to be protected. So of course, this is going to become a lawless land, possibly wiped off the map. So Brook himself is now the captain of the court guards. He's doing everything he can in his power to continue on fighting because he wants to show Ryuven that there is something to fight for still. And he's showing the people that I'm still here. Don't lose hope. We got this. And here comes the Navy butting their heads. As the Navy lands there, Brook takes charge and just starts mowing through them. Now, Brook himself is one hell of a swordsman. We can never put his swordsmanship to the side because it's Brook. It is still Brook we're talking about here. And I love the fact that we get to see just how much his sword play takes play. Now, it is Elbaf still. I thought we were going to get a little bit more upgrading towards our boy Usopp. But I'm really fucking glad we got to see the backstory for Brook during this time period. Because this shows the connection that he has with Gunko as well. No matter how it goes, he tried his best to save her. She wanted to be on the front. It just wasn't going to end up happening. As Brook fought, the government pushed back a little bit more. They started burning down the entire island of Asperia. That's just something that he couldn't stop by himself. He wasn't strong enough to stop that. They had a fleet really come there. All the ships had popped up there. He did his best to fight back, but it wasn't good enough because we get to see Shuri and King Ryuven in the castle. Who do we see in the castle as well? Doing Elbaf, Loki, and Harold. What happened there? Harold got taken over by the reverse. Loki had to finish him off. That's crazy. What happens in this one, you ask? On this one, it looks like Ryuven was taken over as well, but also Shuri was taken over too. And this is where she becomes Gunko. Because as Shuri is taken over, she obviously ends the life of her father, King Ryuven. It looks like to be somebody sitting there at the entire thing just smoking a cigarette with one of the water hats on, the hat that kind of like Shiryu wears. That's a part of he used to be in Magellan's position to impale down. Kind of like wearing that hat, has a really nice coat on with some of the war government symbols up on it, or war government emblems up on it, I would say. Brook walks in and just sees Princess Shiryu with demon wings coming out her back, looking at her father. It's just like, what the hell? Like, Ryuven has horns coming out of him now. Obviously, the Domain verse works upon him. But who is this mystery man? Because this mystery man can be quite a few people, but I don't think that it is. I don't think it's Magellan. I don't think that it's the old warden Shiryu. This is another person who is high up in a world government that's just there. Obviously, this has to be somebody who takes the place of kind of like how I want to say one of the 16 hearts or personalities that he can have. So it's kind of like the person that's doing that as well. The 16 hearts are talking about personalities that I'm talking about that is passed out from Emu. So this is really fucked up. As Brook sees this, he's like, what just happened? And Shuri's like, the war's gonna be over. Aren't you happy? Which goes to make me think like Ryuven probably said, let's not do this war. But the world government was like, no, we probably should. Very interesting chapter. I really want to know who the guy that's smoking is. We see Ryuven now killed, obviously, by Shuri or Gunko at this point, because we know that she becomes Gunko because now Imu has taken over her body and has given her a Domi reverse. That way she's now going to be able to live forever. Stuck at this exact time frame. We picked up what we had started the flashback after left off. Like, because like she would be like 77 right now. Like, there's no way that she can be the same exact Shuri that I know, but it is. This chapter was something very amazing to watch, well, to read, because I do love backstories. We love information over here. I love backstories, but I'm really excited that I finally got to see Brook's backstory. It's one hell of a backstory, if you ask me. Chapter 1185. A lot of mystery comes in at the very end of it, obviously, because here is the final scene that we see from them. And it's an interesting scene because she is standing directly over her father, and we still don't know who this mystery man is right here. I would like to see who it is, but a few thoughts, obviously. My first thought was, damn, is that the ex-warden? But no, it's not him, because why would he be up there? And if he is up there, how does he tie into either helping or not helping when it comes down to Blackbeard? At the same time, it could be because the current Warden Magellan has horns, so he could be a Domi. It's a lot of things to process here, but let's just say that it was a good chapter, and I'm excited for the next one. Stay tuned with us. This is 12, and the other breakdown from One Piece manga 1185. Mindja on Beeswax.